minister to me. Counsel me. I am here to commune with you. I am open and willing. I am listening for that still small voice. I accept myself as I am. I accept where I'm at in my life and my circumstances. I am choosing to think only those thoughts which will bring me peace and align me to a higher consciousness. My words are my agreements. My words are my agreements. I choose only to speak words of truth, of peace, of love. I am filled with your spirit. My mind is filled with thoughts of you. I acknowledge you as my very life. You are living in me, through me, and as me. I am in agreement to you as my very life. You are seeing with my eyes, hearing with my ears, working with my hands, walking with my feet, loving and feeling in my heart. I am in my knowing. I am in my knowing. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free from every idea. Born in lack, born in fear, born in separation. I am in my knowing. I cannot make myself know. Sometimes I benefit by not knowing. But I will know all things in time and in the moment that I need to know. I am receiving what I require. All of my needs are met in perfect ways before I can even ask, before I can even form the words. I am in the upper room. does not exist in the upper room where I now abide. Fear is the denial of the divine. I am no longer denying the divine. I acknowledge the divine in all that I see, in everyone and in everything, regardless of how I feel about it or them, regardless of my opinions or preferences. I am receiving the miracle. I am receiving the miracle. All a miracle is the realization of the divine where it has been denied. And I realize you. I acknowledge you right here, right now, in everything and in everyone. I know who I am beyond my body. You are all things. You are the body that I sit in. You are the life of every person, of everything, of all manifestation. Fear does not exist in this high vibration where I abide. I no longer require fear as my teacher. God is love. God, Source, is the gift that has come as all things. I no longer agree to fear. I am no longer obstructing the manifestation of the divine in my life. My hands are held high. My palms are facing upward. I am in receipt. I am in receipt and agreeing to all things. I am exactly where I need to be. I am exactly where I need to be. Right here, right now. This moment is eternity. Eternity in an instant, and an instant in eternity. What stands before me today is a new awareness of what I may claim, a potential of things that I have not yet known. The arbitrary nature of reality, once exposed to be that of cause and effect, is now comprehended by me in a higher field. The ramifications of past choice, those things that I have chosen to learn through, are now illumined for me. I comprehend the lesson, what the past action has created. And I may now circumvent repercussions through this new alignment that I now hold. I realized that what I thought was an accident was not an accident. I now perceive the cause of the accident and may remedy it. I may remedy the cause and a higher effect through divine will. The reality that I have known has become elastic to a new potential and to new ways of experiencing. I once believed myself to be a victim of this shared reality, but I now realize that I am a contributor. I am a contributor to this reality, not the sole creator, but a contributor. I have now moved to a level of vibration where I witness the world as cause and effect through underlying principles. I comprehend myself in a sovereign state. This does not remove me from the revenues. It does not remove me from the remedies of my past creations, but it supports me in an awareness of what they were. I understand why I said what I said, and I claim it in the upper room, and therefore remove a level of consequence that may have been incurred. I understand that everything is born in thought, and the ramification of thought is always action, whether it is in this realm or a higher realm. I understand consequence means to restore the self to the identity that holds the higher thought. When I remove the consequence of an action, I am not pretending that it didn't happen. I am re-seeing what it was in a higher causation. If I throw a pebble, the pebble has a certain weight. When the pebble hits the ground, it may land firmly, or it may slide a bit. But depending upon the trajectory or the idea of the stone and its ramifications, while the stone may be thrown, the residual affect of the stone's throw may actually be moved by eliminating a causation. If I told a lie because I were in fear of the ramification of telling the truth, while the lie has one trajectory, truth always has another. Once the lie is told, it has its own trajectory. But to return to the causation of the lie, which is always the denial of the divine, is to move the arbitrary nature, or what I perceive to be the arbitrary nature of the consequence of it. I understand that the claim God is, God is, God is, isn't truth. It is a remedy or a re-qualification of the source of all things where it was denied. And to deny a past event, or to say that God could not have been there, is to claim a trajectory of lack. To bring the presence of source upon the need to tell the lie transforms the lie itself, and the residual effect of past action can in fact be respoken into a higher vibration. We limit the divine. When we have an acknowledgement of Source where it was prior denied, it will actually move the effect of the prior choice. We limit God through our idea of linearity. God could not be yesterday where I denied it yesterday. In fact, God is yesterday because yesterday is only an idea. When we replace the idea of God where the idea of lack was, the presence of the divine overtakes the old. We are surrounded by memory. What I said to that person yesterday, what I worry I must say tomorrow, how I will manage yesterday's bill or tomorrow's debt. We all do these things, and we place these things outside of Source. When something is placed outside of Source, it claims its own trajectory, a basis of lack as trajectory. To reclaim the divine where it has been denied is to reclaim the action of Source beyond time and beyond the ramifications of time. God is not linear. It is all-encompassing. God is and was and will always be so. But we deny the Source of all things as we have been taught to deny it. We look at our pain and say that God could never have been in that place of pain, and ramify that pain and claim it again and again. And that pain is reborn through memory and our expectations of reclaiming what was. When we bring the action of Source upon the claim of that initial pain, the source of that initial pain, the ramifications of that choice or opportunity to learn through an experience of pain must be reknown. The claim, behold, I make all things new, is a claim of the truth, of the presence of the divine, and a reknowing of what was outside of the contraction, that the shadow that we have held it in, or the denial of the divine that we have claimed, supports the memory of the thing in. Anything and everything may be reseen in the upper room, and indeed made new. Most of us think that we are polishing up the old and not reclaiming it anew. But what is it when it is not what it was? It is still a window pane, perhaps, but a bit shinier. To realize the window pane as God, not just a cleaner window, is to move into the action of the Source that claims itself as window, or what we have prescribed the meaning window to. Everything that has a name was once nameless. Everything that was nameless once was something other. Once something was other. It was claimed into agreement, made manifest in form. When we move to the source of the manifestation, we have the action of the Word, the action of the Creator, which has always been the essence of truth. While the Word is the one note sung, that is in expression as all manifestation, we still experience the self as the body that we hold, or the age the body holds on the calendar. And we equate our well-being with the idea of others' well-being and what they resemble or seem to be. When we move beyond those levels of identification, we move to the level of soul or source expressed as soul. And when we move beyond the level of soul, we are simply at the level of source. Behold, I make all things new is indeed the reclamation of source at the level that we can manage the identification. Imagine that we are looking at the sun through the bright blue sky, or perhaps the cloudy sky. The color blue is our idea of blue. And beyond what we would call the Earth's atmosphere, there are no clouds as we see them. But our idea of sky, informed by an idea, is only one level. There are deep, deep levels to re-articulation and causation itself. And the ramification of any past choice may be rendered new through the absolute. When we move to the overriding now, which is the space that holds the idea of cloud and sky, past or present, we are revoking in some ways the authority that was given to a past idea claimed through separation. We must now know that the source of all things is more potent than any past choice made in fear. We are accountable to our choices, but only at the level of consciousness that we have aligned to. To revoke the old is not to pretend it didn't happen. It is to re-know the old situation, causation, and action in the agreement. God is, God is, God is. True realization is always accompanied by a manifestation of the demonstration. We can have no realization of the absolute without an experience of it. We build something into the energetic field before it becomes manifest. While this is true, there may be a prayer or an invoking of the source that must take time for realization to occur, just as it may for the water to boil on the stove. But there is also a level of application where the water boils quickly, or better yet still, where the water is always boiled, and even better still, when the water is not water, it is source. It is the realization of source that is in reclamation, where what has been denied is invoked in source, as source, and returned to source, which claims all affect of the initial denial. Behold, I make all things new, is indeed invocation, not at the level of personality, which may polish a window, but not render it new, but at the level of the monad that perceives all things as of itself. When we invoke, behold, I make all things new, we are reclaiming what was denied in a deliberate manner. God is a universal claim that invokes all things as they can only be. We are not just invoking the window. We are invoking all windows, all idea of windows, and the creation of the first window as source. God is. God is. God is. When we claim, I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. The underlying principle to this claim is God is. God is. God is the underlying truth. I know who I am in truth. God is. I know what I am in truth. God is. I know how I serve in truth. Again, the claim is made in presence and being in the moment that we sit in, and claims it for all time. It is a claim that bypasses time. There is no time in the claim. Time is a construct. To be is to be, as always can be in truth. The octave that we now sing through is clarified by law, or what we would call rules or systems of agreement. While we maintain form, there are a series of laws that govern the body. While we live on this plane, in this collective field, there are laws that govern this plane, inclusive of cause and effect, or our idea of karma. When we lift to the upper room, we are moving towards the absolute at the level of agreement that we can hold. The claim God is the claim of the kingdom. And the kingdom is the manifestation of the divine as all things. Underline all. Behold, I make all things new. God is. God is. God is. Some of us may say, it will not be done through me. I am too simple. I am too complicated. I am too angry. I am too impatient. I am too young or too old. We have made all these things God when we claim them as such. Did you hear that? Our age is an idea. Our innocence, as we believe innocence to be, or our naivety, if we would prefer that, is an idea. But the reclamation of source as these things is the coherence or manifestation that the monad in incarnate expression manifests as and through. We know who we are because we can be nothing other. So any excuse that we could make to deny this truth is indeed ours to make. We are now being taken on an excursion in this teaching to the unannounced, the unknown, the manifest truth that is now here to manifest. In our agreement, we will be met where we are, as we come, as we place upon the altar our denial of our own divinity and the denial of others' divinity as well. Let us sing our songs so that we may learn the words. Let us join in the sound, in the one note sung, and let us reclaim any idea, any denouncement of the divine, refuting of the divine, refusal of the divine, that we have ever claimed or incurred to be respoken in this sound, in the claim, it will be so. God is, God is, God is. Let yourself be as you are. As reclamation occurs through all idea of lack, all misgovernance of identity that has denied the divine as you, or in another throughout time. What stands before us today is a higher awareness of who we are, what we have chosen in fear, perhaps unknowingly, and how we have contributed to the matrix of fear through our obedience to it. And to be in obedience to fear is certainly to choose it, to affirm it, to guarantee it, and to give it power over us. If we look at our life today, and we look at the areas in our life which hold the most fear, we will see that we are in agreement to these things. Agreement is always confirmation. And as we confirm fear, as we agree to it, as we align to it in vibration, it becomes our claim of experience. To move beyond these ideas of what can or should be through a bias in fear, we must lift to a level of vibration where fear is obsolete, where it is no longer a guarantor of outcome. Let us imagine a dark cloud that seeks to identify itself as more important than the sun that it seeks to obscure. Then we may understand why fear holds its bias. The purpose of fear is to withhold the light or the action of the divine, which can indeed supersede fear. It holds an investment, a seeking to relinquish the old, so that fear may hold its potency. We are the thinker. We are the one choosing. And as we choose in fear, we agree to it. And the alignment that we incur actually supports the manifestation of fear. The manifestation of the monad, or the Christ truth, or the true self that is without blame, holds no fear and knows itself in innocence. We are contrary in some ways to these claims. I know who I am, what I am, how I serve. When we are identifying as fearful because the true self does not hold fear, will not claim it for another, and does not abide in it. We may have an experience of self that is beyond fear, but until we untether ourselves to the objectification of fear as something that we must have or maintain, the high likelihood is that we will continue to find ways to support it. The upper room is a level of vibration or consciousness that we may align to. And fear is not present in the upper room. When we believe ourselves to be afraid, we are identifying through the lower fabric, the lower identity. The lower identity is not wrong. The personality is not wrong, but it is indeed fraudulent or a mask. And to wear the mask of the small self in some ways is to be as the cloud that seeks to obscure the sunlight. The radiance of the divine self, or the monad in its expression, will actually reclaim us on the old bias towards fear, or sustain us in the upper room where fear holds no command. To relinquish the idea of self, the self that is entrenched in fear, is not to make it hard work. It is simply to understand that the aspect of us that becomes afraid is self-identifying through the manifestation of the lower field, whether it be our bank balance, or the lover who doesn't do as we wish, or the neighbor who is so problematic. We are not denying that these are issues that we attend to. And in fact, our lessons may be brought to us through them. Lessons in commerce and abundance, lessons in trust, lessons in dignity can all be born through experience that initially presents as adversarial. Our idea of adversarial in most ways is something that is occurring that is not to our agreement, something that we don't condone or don't feel that we gave permission to be. I didn't get what I expected. It wasn't given to me the way that I wanted. She didn't behave the way that she was instructed. While our lessons come forth as we require them, if we look at each experience as a teacher, it becomes less problematic. If it comes to us that the lesson of any situation can be discerned in the upper room without obligation to the lower field, we will find ourselves hurrying there more rapidly. Let us imagine that we lost a dime on the carpet. Perhaps it is under the sofa or under the pillow. Possibly it is in the door frame. We may spend all day grazing the floor, looking for the one thing that was left. If the furniture is lifted, if the rug is shaken loose, it may appear far more easily. When we go to the upper room and give ourselves permission to see what is really occurring without a bias of what we would have. I wanted that person to be on time. I wanted that man to honor his word. I wanted those people to do the right thing as I say the right thing is. If we can ask for what needs to be seen without prior expectation of what we would have it be, we are guaranteed to see it, because there is nothing to obscure what is. When we allow ourselves to see what truly is, there are different levels of sight that we may hold, because the small self has investment in outcome. I want my child to be well as I say he should be well. I want the bill to be paid when I say it should be paid. We are not the best one to seek counsel from the self at the level or structure of personality, because all we will be seeking would be a confirmation of what we wish to see, and we will have a hard time receiving the higher information that may indeed be available for us in this upper room where we now abide. But if we indeed go to the upper room and we align to true knowing, I am in my knowing, word I am word, and we become receptive to the answers without an obligation to what we would have be or wish to see as a result, we may in fact receive what we require quickly. And we will not have to go grazing the rug looking for the dime that was lost, but we may find it already in our hand. Let us be directed to our true self, which is the aspect of us that indeed knows, that is not acclimatized to fear and does not hold a bias there. When we are in the upper room and we are moving towards re-articulation, which is the manifestation of the monad as form, we become congruent to possibilities that do not express in the lower field. Let us imagine that there is a book of answers that cannot be read in the dim light of the lower field. We have to go upstairs to the bright light to receive the wisdom that the texts hold. When we hold the door open, we create an entry point for ourselves and others. Because the wisdom that these teachings hold, once imparted, actually claim the field of the reader or the listener in service to the higher experience. When we lift to the higher experience, we have access to the wisdom that these teachings hold, without the teachings serving us. We don't need the article or the book or the audio to render our knowing. We simply need the agreement to it. While the small self will always seek to claim even one spiritual experience as a mode for separation, and indeed specialness can be seen in such a mode, anyone who is truly aligning in the upper room is not receiving glorious information about his or her divine calling. When we receive information about our calling, be it our own or another's, it will never come with trumpets. It will come in a hushed whisper so that we may agree and listen carefully to it. It is in this listening, this agreement to it, that we are led softly, carefully, to the doorway that is appropriate for us. If we were to be pushed through a doorway, it would not be in our honor, nor in our highest choice. When we agree to be summoned by the light, or called forth to the light, we do so with our head bowed. We are not the only glorious being on this plane. Our problems are not worse than the ones beside us, although we may experience them as such. When we wish to manifest or claim the kingdom, which is the experience of the divine as all things, we lift our face to the light in wonder that the light is. We hold a kind of humility that allows our resplendence, but includes all in this resplendence. Our neighbor who we don't like, the one who stood us up, the one who didn't decide with us, the one who did not give us what we wanted. We include all in this claim. I know who you are in truth. I know what you are in truth. I know how you serve in truth. Because that is the only truth that we face. We are no longer obscured by the mask or the desire to be seen as special or separate. We are simply allowing ourselves to be. We are giving permission to move to a level of alignment where the sun shines through us, unobstructed, unobscured. We have become the light, and our experience as the light, whether or not we know it, is always generous to the ones around us. We are not deciding what the light should be and who should show up as it through our own bias or concern. Sometimes we understand the phrase live and let live only at the level of convenience that it may offer us. If we are truly aligned to that claim, we know love for others in our field. We understand them without our need to have them experience themselves in the way that we think they should. We may claim, I want my child to be well, but our idea of what the well child looks like as well, with a college degree and a working relationship and money in the bank and a call to me every Friday because I demand to be called every Friday, is simply a way that we are deciding who our child is based on a frame or structure that we have decreed for him or her. To allow the child to be as he truly is does not mean that we don't hold the child accountable to his choices. And if he is harmful to himself or others, perhaps we intervene. But we do not decide who another should be, because the moment we do this, we have decided what God should look like as the child that we bore. And we are ascribing behaviors to certify that. This is always the small self denying the divine in whatever form it has taken. In a fundamental way, we are no longer deciding who others should be or how they should behave. But we may uphold the law of the land if indeed there is such a thing. If someone harms another, they are accountable to their act. And we may call this karma. But it may also be something that they are called to court for. What this does not mean is that we don't accept them. We must accept them because no one will change if they are not accepted, nor will we until we accept who we are and what we have claimed as learning. Be it the marriage that failed or the business that was ruined. Be it the child that no longer speaks to us. Until we accept these things for what they are, we will continue them. Nothing is claimed in light until it is first agreed to, and we cannot agree to what we hide. We cannot agree to a lie and make it truthful. The lie must be exposed. This does not need to be horrible. Let us go to the upper room. Let us be directed to the upper room. I am in my knowing. Word, I am word. It is in this that we have great opportunity to uncover what we have hidden from ourselves. because most of what we are creating unconsciously can be understood here. I didn't want the relationship to succeed because I am so frightened of being loved. I didn't want that person to be happy because then I feel like a failure compared to her. When we understand our investment in these things, we will no longer contribute to them. We are no longer supporting fear, which is only the denial of the divine. Much of what we manifest, we are unaware of. We are manifesting an agreement to the cultural edicts that we have ascribed power to. This is how a person should behave, and this is how I should be seen by others. When we release the mask that demands these things, we may see the truth of all things. To see the truth of all things is to be in our knowing. It is not to be the sage or the victor. It is simply to know. And when we know, we realize. And when we know, we may be called to act. And when one acts in his or her knowing, one is honoring the heart. One is never seeking to make another wrong or justify one's past acts. The small self will not be the one expressing here, but the monad or true self that indeed knows who she is, what he is, and how she serves. What stands before us now in a realized state is great permission. Permission to reclaim the divine, to receive the divine, and to know ourselves in agreement to it. The idea of manifestation or creation is misunderstood by most of us. We don't understand that what we are doing here is aligning to a level of tone or vibration where the old density that has precluded manifestation as what we might best benefit from it has been present but denied by us. When we say yes to what already expresses in the upper room, we actually reclaim our true inheritance. The idea through the creation of the small self is well and good. I want a pink house with roses out front. I want a healthy child, a loving husband or wife. We want what we think we should have. But we are going into agreement with these ideas as we manifest, and we are claiming what is already ours in the higher octave. The idea that we make something so, that we overcome challenge and reap the rewards of those ideas is useful in some ways, but primarily for the aspect of self that wants to know that she did her job and did it well. The idea of becoming receptive to our good, claiming what is already ours, is confusing for us because we have been entrained in the lower field where everything is effortful. The density of the low field is not so much an obstacle to our receptivity. It is just more challenging. We are creative at the levels that we can be here. When we are in an altered field, I am in the upper room. I have come. I have come. I have come. We are claiming what is already ours. We are not seeking to get what we want. We are receiving the gifts of the kingdom. And what we have aligned to here that is actually of benefit for our growth and soul experience may indeed be met by us as we say yes to it. The idea that we must earn something is useful in some ways because we will not accept what we don't feel that we own, that is not rightfully ours. The key to claiming worth here is acknowledgement of the aspect of self that aligns to the upper room, which we call the monad or true self. It is this aspect of us that is already in accord with its source, that knows itself in union, and is in reception by nature of presence and being. As we align at this level or octave, we become the beneficiary of the agreement towards union. Because the process of integration or alignment at this level must come in stages. Otherwise, we would not hold it. We must become acclimated to the less dense field. And as we are acclimated, we receive the benefits of each level. We may say, I want a relationship. Where is the relationship? I want more money. Where is the money? Where is the opportunity? Our idea that it is not present actually claims the lack that we fear. To be in agreement to something is to be in coherence with it, which means that it is with us. It is always with us at the strata of vibration that we have claimed. This is simply to open our arms to be able to receive what the alignment has supported. If we do not believe that the alignment is present, we will be seeking something outside of ourselves. We must understand Source. We must understand what it is to manifest the divine. We are not seeking a brunette with a bouquet of flowers for us, or a giant piggy bank that is always overflowing. We are realizing Source where the lack has been. We are going into agreement with that Source, which may present as relationship, or as abundance, or as pure partnership. In most cases, the names that we give things are actually preclusive of our reception. I want a better job. Our idea of a better job may hold a different economic perspective, but what might be best for us, or most gainfully as employment for us, is that which meets our true needs, not the artifice that we would decide is represented by the corner office, or the higher title, or the bigger paycheck. When we understand that what we receive is what we have aligned to, we will work with this well. Everything that we see before us today, either in benefit or in lack, is what we have agreed to, or are in consort with, in vibration. If we are in agreement to solitude and feel that we benefit from solitude, why would we be asking for a partner? If we prefer not to work, but wish our needs to be taken care of, why do we underscore the idea that the Source of all things is available in many forms, and the idea of employment, while useful for many, is not the only way that one may be supported in their well-being? When we agree to let Source be Source and align to the potential that is here, we will understand that the probability of reception is in direct equation with our ability to receive, or our agreement that what is present is in fact what we require. The gift of these teachings for some may be a lifting to a level of amplitude where we stop denying the divine. When we are denying the divine, we are still claiming, but we are claiming lack or the absence of Source, the absence of my partner, The absence of my income is what we move into agreement with. And that is our agreement. And we will sustain it, the challenge of it, or the gift that it may bring you in its own way, through the very agreement to lack that we have gone into accord with. We idealize God in ways that preclude certain aspects of ourselves. My terrible temper, my poor demeanor, my angry nature. We suppress these aspects of ourselves in hope that they will not contribute to the alignment that we hold. But because they are present as and with us, they actually adorn the life that we live and inform our very reason for expressing. When we are frustrated or experiencing frustration, we have the opportunity to release the idea of self that is holding frustration. We don't release this without agreeing to it or accepting it for whatever it is seeking to affirm. When we claim this, we can move beyond it. When we seek to deny it, I will put on a good face. I will be polite as I have to. We are actually maintaining the lower field because we have not given the old the opportunity to release in its expression. We are being lifted to a level of tone or agreement that we can manage. At this level of vibration, we will accrue experiences that we can claim and understand. When this affirms itself experientially in our lives, we will undergo a residual process wherein we release what stands in the way of the next level of creation or alignment that we may attend to. Let us imagine walking up to a staircase or lifting in an elevator. When we lift in the elevator, we pass the lower floors. We don't pass the lower floors without seeing our investment in what was created there. The gift of the teaching for some of us will be releasing an idea of self where we perpetuate the very things that we say that we no longer desire because we attach to them through anger, through affirmations of lack, through the denial of the divine that is our birthright to affirm. But when we affirm the lack, that becomes our experience on this plane. We have been given the opportunity to create. And while we do this in most ways in tandem with the personality structure, where is the brunette with the bouquet of roses? Where is the man with the checkbook? Where is the spouse that does as I wish and the child that behaves as I would say? We don't comprehend the gifts of every moment because every moment is the opportunity perceived, the expression of the divine as we have aligned to it. When we claim what we see as divine, which simply means of source, a manifestation of the one note sung, what was claimed in form may indeed be lifted to the higher temper, to the higher octave, to the higher tone. The gift of this teaching is knowing who and what we are. And the what of this teaching is the manifestation of the Christ self as present and being in form. The form taken by us and the expression of this form as it undertakes itself to transform every aspect of us and the environment that we find ourselves in. By environment, we mean physical surroundings, but also the relationships that we hold and the opportunities that arise through our agreement to their potential. First, agree to the potential. It will be so. and allow the manifestation to be in agreement with that claim. Your agreement to be, I am word through my body. Word, I am word. I am word through my vibration. Word, I am word. I am word through my knowing of myself as word, the stepping stone that we use towards a level of realization that seeks to express as the life that we live. Underline the word as. Our life is this expression. Stop denying the source of all things in the life that you are living. Give it permission to be as it truly is. And if you do this from the upper room, you will see the benefits of it. Experience the life that is the source of all things in all your creations. The environment you express through is not limited to your home or your community. You are in agreement to the source of all things in all humanity, in all creation, in all nature, in all confusion, so that the light may be brought where it has been denied. Your gift is the experience of the resurrected self that seeks manifestation through you and in and as all things. Let us speak these words together. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am in the upper room. I have come. I have come. I have come. Behold, I make all things new. It will be so. God is. God is. God is. On this day, I claim that every aspect of my being may be lifted in the upper room and made new in this new awareness of my true nature. And as I give permission for this, I allow the source of all things to be made known to me experientially and in every instance of my life, in all relationships, in all thought, and all that I see before me. And as I agree to this, I give permission to release whatever is required so that it may be reknown and sung anew in the high octave that is the upper room. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I am free. I am free. I am free.